A strange creature, no longer than a chopstick, yet honored as the ginseng of the waters, the Japanese eel. With fewer than 5 million individuals left, this elusive species has quietly become the golden ingredient behind a multi-billion-dollar culinary industry. But do you know how millions of these eels are raised, harvested, and processed each year? The journey begins in bubbling tanks where each eel is fattened on a secret, protein and mineral-rich feed. From there, they move into blazing hot high-tech factories where sharp knives, charcoal grills, and sweet savory kabayaki sauce transform these slippery fish into a beloved national delicacy, essential to Japanese summers. Today, join Agriculture Insight on a mysterious journey into the world of Japanese eels, to uncover unsolved biological puzzles and witness the intersection of technology, cuisine, and tradition. All will be revealed in this video. Japan is regarded as the capital of freshwater eel in Asia, consuming nearly 100,000 tons annually and turning this slippery fish into a strategic, ritual dish every summer. Eel farms are not only a vital link in Japan's culinary supply chain, but also act as silent biological factories, steadily operating behind the scenes of a refined food culture. Japanese eel sells for $20–40 per kilogram, far more expensive than tilapia and even farmed salmon. Beyond its price, eel meat is prized for its tender texture, rich flavor, and high nutritional value, especially its renowned ability to restore energy and vitality after periods of fatigue. To this day, the reproduction of eels remains a deep-sea mystery. Despite tracking their long migration journeys, humans have never witnessed them mating or spawning in the wild. Everything unfolds silently in the ocean depths, making this fish one of the most enigmatic aquatic creatures on Earth. Because artificial breeding has yet to be fully achieved, modern eel farms still rely on juvenile eels caught from the wild. Once collected, these young eels are placed into specialized tanks within industrial farms, where water quality, temperature, oxygen levels, and stocking density are strictly controlled to ensure growth and minimize losses. Eel tanks in Japanese industrial farms are far more than just bodies of water. They are artificial ecosystems engineered with near-perfect precision. Beneath their calm surface lies a complex network of sensors, water circulation systems, and controls for oxygen, pH, salinity, temperature, and flow, operating silently yet continuously like a living biological machine. And within that artificial ecosystem, the strangest element is the feed itself. To keep alive creatures as fragile as glass threads, Japanese scientists once turned to an unlikely ingredient: shark eggs. Rich in lipids and rare enzymes, these eggs supported the early development of the eel larvae's digestive system. But due to high costs and limited supply, researchers began a race to develop an alternative diet. The answer lay in microbial technology. In the hatchery, each batch of feed begins not with manual mixing, but with a spinning steel vortex drum. Warm-treated water is added, followed by a blend of deep-sea fish meal, enzymes, live probiotics, synthetic fish oil, and seaweed flavoring. As the drum turns, a smooth, sticky nutrient mass forms, cohesive enough to shape into pellets while preserving live enzymes and beneficial microbes. Instead of being dried or dissolved, the feed is incubated in a dark room where humidity, temperature, and light are precisely controlled to awaken the microbiota and trigger fermentation. The final product is shaped into small pellets and placed directly into the juvenile eel tanks. Not dropped haphazardly or crushed on impact, each pellet lands on the water's surface like a programmed biological signal. Its outer coating keeps it from dissolving immediately, while the core softens just enough for the eels to nibble bit by bit. In the swirling water, surrounded by thousands of tiny bodies, each pellet becomes a gathering point. The young eels respond instinctively, gently nudging, nibbling, circling back again, creating a rhythmic dance as if the ocean's energy were pulsing right inside an industrial plastic tank. After about 7 to 8 months of cultivation, once the eels reach optimal size, modern farms initiate a fully automated harvesting process. Gone are the days of scooping by hand. Today's tanks are modular in design, with tapered bottoms and smart drainage systems that trigger the eel's natural reflexes to gather as the water level drops. From there, they are guided through smooth, flexible pipes and delivered straight onto the processing conveyor belt. Due to their elongated bodies, thin skin, and slippery, delicate nature, every stage involving physical contact is carefully optimized to minimize stress and impact. The conveyor belt not only transports the eels, but also gently washes off any remaining mud, cools their body temperature, and stabilizes their condition before moving on to the next processing stage. After preliminary processing, the eels are placed into specialized plastic bags, not to induce unconsciousness, but to retain moisture and create a sealed environment that makes breathing easier during transport. Thanks to their ability to exchange gases through their skin and their unique mucus layer, eels can survive for hours with only a minimal amount of dissolved oxygen, almost as if they were in a state of suspended animation on their way to the processing plant. At the processing plant, the eels are placed directly into large stainless steel washing tanks, where high-pressure cold water continuously rinses away mucus, feces, and any remaining impurities on their skin. Under industrial lighting, hundreds of eels slither through the aeration system like lively ribbons before being transferred to the automatic sorting unit, where slanted mesh panels with varying gap sizes separate them by size. Immediately after cleaning, the eels are transferred into ice-filled containers to induce rapid immobilization. This method causes no harm, instead triggering a natural cold reflex that renders them temporarily motionless. As a result, the eels remain calm, do not struggle or generate heat, and maintain optimal flesh quality before entering the final anesthesia stage. Once cleaned and sorted, the eels enter the pre-processing zone, where exacting techniques are required for every step. In kabayaki production facilities, workers perform traditional butchering using the kanto-style technique, which involves slicing the eel from the back, preserving the belly, and making it ideal for skewering and grilling later on. Workers use a specialized eel knife with a short, sharp blade and a non-slip wooden handle. The eel is secured on a wooden cutting board, fitted with a metal spike to pin down its head. A simple, yet highly effective design that keeps the slippery body in place. Within seconds, the eel is slit open from neck to tail along the spine. The backbone, intestines, kidneys, and blood are carefully removed using a flat knife and tweezers, then rinsed thoroughly under a continuous stream of cold water to preserve freshness. After being thoroughly cleaned and pre-processed, the eels continue their journey to the grilling station, where high-temperature technology is combined with traditional know-how to create the signature kabayaki flavor. In the first grilling stage, the eels are evenly arranged on stainless steel racks and placed into a sealed oven, heated to around 230 to 250 degrees Celsius. The main purpose of this initial grilling is to firm up the muscle structure, straighten the eel's body without any curling, and lock in its natural sweet moisture, a key factor in ensuring the flesh remains tender and juicy. This process requires precise control over time and temperature to ensure the outer layer is just cooked enough without drying out the meat during the subsequent steps. After that, the eels are taken out of the oven and dipped into kabayaki sauce, the very soul that brings the signature sweet, savory flavor and distinctive aroma to this iconic dish. Once the sauce is thoroughly soaked in, the eels are returned to the oven for the second round of grilling. At this stage, the kabayaki sauce begins to caramelize under the intense heat, forming a glossy amber-brown glaze. A lightly charred, fragrant, and delicately crisp skin develops, adding both visual appeal and a deeper layer of flavor. Each eel is now coated in a shiny, flavorful jacket, ready to captivate diners at first sight. Thanks to the repeated grill-dip-grill cycle, every bite of the eel becomes richly flavored, tender, and succulent on the inside, and beautifully glazed on the outside, the perfect embodiment of traditional Japanese kabayaki. Once the grilling and kabayaki sauce absorption steps are completed, the eels are moved to the packaging area, where every operation follows strict food hygiene and safety standards. Wearing sterilized uniforms, gloves, and face masks, staff carefully place each glossy golden piece of eel into specialized plastic trays, manually inspecting for shape and overall quality. Only those that pass inspection are packed into heat-resistant vacuum bags, then run through an automatic vacuum sealing machine to remove air, extend shelf life, and lock in flavor. The vacuum-sealed eels are then neatly arranged in baskets and transferred to the boxing station, where workers place them into cardboard boxes, apply labels and barcodes, and securely seal each package. From there, these perfectly grilled Japanese-style eels are ready to reach supermarkets, restaurants, and family dining tables across the globe. All eyes are usually drawn to the flesh, the most prized part of the eel. But few realize that hidden beneath its tender meat lies a silent treasure: the bones. Once removed, these bones are far from wasted. They're simmered into a rich, concentrated broth, infused with onions, leafy greens, and various spices to create a blend that's both flavorful and deeply nourishing. In another variation, the bones can even be deep-fried, turning into a unique and crispy side dish. Quietly yet artfully, this seemingly discarded part has become a refined highlight, completing the eel dining experience in the most unexpected way. Just as quietly, another journey begins. Not in the distant open sea, but within the confines of a laboratory. Here, mature eels are injected with hormones, and their eggs and sperm are collected by hand before being introduced into tanks designed to simulate the deep ocean. If fertilization is successful, thread-like transparent larvae are born, replicating the eel's 5,000-kilometer natural spawning journey, all within a space no larger than a few dozen square meters. Immediately after hatching, the larvae enter what is considered the most precious stage of their life cycle, the glass eel phase. At this point, their bodies have just completed structural development, measuring about 5 to 7 centimeters in length, still gelatinously transparent, and so delicate that even a slight change in pH or temperature can wipe out an entire batch within hours. During the first 30 to 60 days, glass eels are raised in brackish or dechlorinated freshwater tanks, where the temperature is kept stable between 25 to 28 degrees Celsius, and lighting is dimmed to near darkness to simulate the conditions of a riverbed. After surviving the highly sensitive glass eel phase, the remaining individuals enter a new chapter, the Elvers stage. This is when their bodies begin to undergo visible changes, transforming from a jelly-like transparency to a light brown or murky gray hue. The first pigments emerge, as if to declare they are now ready to face life in freshwater environments. Each individual that develops well during this stage represents a growing unit of value, forming the very foundation upon which the entire downstream production chain can operate efficiently, consistently, and sustainably. From a small, humble creature, the eel has now found its place in both cuisine and technology. Thanks to human hands working in harmony with modern processes, its value is not only preserved and elevated, but also embodied in the story behind every slice of meat. In nature, locusts are insects capable of causing severe agricultural disasters. When the weather is favorable, small swarms gather into massive clouds that darken the sky and destroy thousands of hectares of crops within hours, leaving farmers devastated. This phenomenon causes global agricultural losses of up to $8.5 billion annually, threatening food security and significantly impacting the economies of many countries worldwide. Yet the paradox is that this very pest is now considered a protein source of the future. Locusts contain 60–70% pure protein, twice that of beef, while being rich in minerals, low in fat, easy to digest, and environmentally friendly. In China, the locust farming industry is rapidly growing, with an estimated annual production of around 5,000 to 8,000 tons, serving both domestic and export markets and generating tens of millions of dollars in revenue. In Africa, locusts are called gold falling from the sky. Locals harvest them naturally at almost no cost, yet still create significant income. And without further delay, join me now to explore the modern locust farming process and how humans have transformed a destructive pest into a new food source for the future. Every journey begins with infrastructure. To raise locusts effectively, farmers must create a natural-like environment that is orderly, clean, and fully controlled. Modern locust farms are typically built in well-ventilated areas with abundant natural light, but protected from rain and wind by hundreds of neatly arranged mosquito-proof mesh cages. Each rearing unit has a base layer of fine sand or sawdust to absorb moisture and provide ideal conditions for locusts to lay eggs. The temperature inside the cages is maintained steadily between 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, with humidity kept at 60 to 70%, recreating a summer-like environment in a closed space to maximize locust growth and reproduction. And of course, maintaining healthy breeding stock is an essential step, a process that requires meticulous preparation and strict control. During the breeding season, the locust farm becomes so lively that farmers call it the biological explosion phase. Locusts mate by stacking on the backs of females, with each mating lasting from 4 to 10 hours, one of the longest mating durations among insects. The male uses small spines on its legs to firmly hold the female, ensuring successful sperm transfer. After fertilization, the female enters a prolonged egg-laying phase lasting several days. During the breeding season, farmers place specialized egg-laying trays, shallow plastic boxes filled with a 3 to 5 centimeters thick layer of fine sand, maintained at about 70% moisture. Female locusts use a needle-like ovipositor to pierce deep into the sand and deposit eggs in batches. Each individual can lay from 20 to over 100 eggs at a time, and this process repeats multiple times throughout the breeding cycle. The number of eggs laid can be so large that after just one night, the sand surface may be completely covered, with eggs arranged in layers resembling tiny grains of rice. To prevent overcrowding that could cause oxygen deficiency or embryo damage, farmers need to regularly replace the trays, ensuring each batch of eggs is collected at the right time. Immediately after the female locust completes the egg-laying process, farmers carefully begin collecting the egg trays. With meticulous handling, they sift through the sand layer, gently extracting egg clusters concentrated in the densest areas. Locust eggs are very small, elongated oval-shaped, and ivory-colored. They are usually coated in a layer of mucus secreted by the female during laying. This mucus helps bind the eggs into clusters and forms an initial protective membrane, but it also causes the eggs to blend into the sand, requiring skilled handling to avoid breaking or damaging the delicate embryos inside. Once separated, The eggs are transferred to specialized incubation trays containing a sterilized mixture of fine sand and sawdust or coconut fiber. The mixing ratio is precisely adjusted to maintain optimal moisture levels, avoiding excessive wetness that could cause oxygen deficiency, while ensuring good airflow around the eggs. The incubation trays are then placed in a separate hatching area with minimal light. Temperature is kept stable between 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, and humidity is maintained at approximately 70%. After 10 to 15 days, the young locusts begin to break through the eggshells and emerge from the sand, as if experiencing a new season of life. Newly hatched locusts resemble adults in shape but lack wings. At this stage, they are extremely fragile and sensitive to environmental changes, requiring meticulous care to ensure the highest survival rate. In their early life stage, young locusts are fed soft, nutrient-rich, and easily digestible young leaves to help their bodies recover quickly after each molt. As they grow, their diet shifts to fresh leaves such as corn, papaya, elephant grass, or sweet potato leaves. All feed materials are carefully chopped into bite-sized pieces completely free of pesticides and always kept fresh. Even a small piece of wilted or moldy leaf can cause disease outbreaks that spread rapidly in the confined farming environment. Stocking density is also critical, typically maintained at 500 to 1,000 locusts per square meter. Overcrowding causes stress, leading locusts to bite each other or suffer mass mortality. Daily cleaning is mandatory. Removing dead individuals, cleaning feces, replacing moisture-absorbing bedding, and draining stagnant water to prevent mold growth. Neglecting these tasks can result in the loss of hundreds of locusts within hours. Like many other insects, locusts develop through molting. During the first 25 to 30 days of life, they undergo 5 to 6 molts before reaching adulthood. Each molting stage is extremely sensitive. Before molting, farmers carefully adjust the humidity in the rearing area. Instead of direct watering, farms typically use light misting systems or place damp cloths in corners to maintain ideal moisture levels. If the environment is too dry, old exoskeletons won't shed completely. If too moist, mold outbreaks occur. Throughout molting, locust bodies become soft, nearly transparent, and highly vulnerable to injury from collisions or even competition among peers. Therefore, it is strictly prohibited to move or disturb the rearing area during this period. After the final molts, locusts reach adult form, elongated and muscular bodies with thin wings folded neatly along their sides. Their color changes from deep green to earthy brown, depending on the rearing environment and strain. As locusts enter the adult stage, their nutritional needs increase dramatically. While they fed slowly as nymphs, their food consumption rate now becomes extremely rapid. A group of several hundred locusts can consume an entire tray of greens within just a few hours. The average weight of an adult locust ranges from 250 to 350 milligrams, but high-yield strains can reach up to 400 milligrams. Each individual requires about 0.8 to 1.2 grams of feed daily. On average, a tray housing 500 locusts needs approximately 3 kilograms of leafy greens per day to ensure sufficient nutrition for the harvesting stage. Besides food, locusts need clean water to maintain vital functions. On farms, drinking water is usually provided through trays or light misting systems, helping to maintain humidity and aid digestion. Clean, uncontaminated water is essential to prevent diseases and boost immunity. Providing adequate water helps locusts grow healthily and achieve high productivity. Every 3-4 days, farmers randomly weigh samples to monitor growth rates. This process helps adjust feeding portions timely, ensuring uniform development and minimizing size differences within the colony. After about 30 to 35 days, adult locusts reach marketable size and are ready for harvest. This stage is highly manual, requiring skill and precision comparable to any sophisticated agricultural technique. Unlike other insects that can be harvested by machinery, locusts are caught entirely by hand to preserve their shape and ensure quality. Harvesters gently open nets or cage lids and carefully approach the locusts clinging to trays or the floor. Every movement must be precise and smooth. Too fast causes panic, too slow reduces productivity. After catching, locusts are placed into soft mesh bags to keep them ventilated and prevent crushing or deformation. On average, a skilled harvester can collect 10 to 15 kilograms per hour. The combination of speed and gentleness has turned this task into an art form. The ultimate goal is to keep each locust intact for the next step, whether packaging live or sending them to processing plants. After the harvesting and transportation process is complete, the live locust trays are immediately sent for thorough cleaning, a process far more sophisticated than simply washing with water. The locusts are placed into automatic vibrating tanks that combine circulating water, gentle ultrasonic waves, and tilted stainless steel drums. This system removes sand, soil, leaves, droppings, and natural oils from the locusts' bodies without breaking their legs or tearing their wings. After cleaning, the locusts move onto mesh conveyor belts for drying using low-pressure cold air. This method dries them without causing thermal shock, preserving their freshness and original texture. Once clean and dry, the locusts are taken to the packaging area. Here, they are sorted according to their intended use: live consumption or processing. Live locusts are packed in modified atmosphere bags to maintain freshness. Each package is clearly labeled with harvest date, origin, nutritional information, and storage instructions. And the most exciting part is the processing stage. The locusts are briefly blanched in boiling water to remove impurities, then gently dried and seasoned with sea salt and traditional herbs. Next, they are deep fried in hot oil until they turn a golden crispy color that's simply irresistible. After frying, the locusts are drained of oil, then a few drops of fresh lime juice are added along with a sprinkle of chili powder, creating a perfect blend of sour, spicy, and the distinctive umami aftertaste. The result is a unique snack, crunchy, flavorful, and highly nutritious, ideal for enjoying with a cold drink or as an adventurous appetizer. Would you dare to try this tiny but surprising delicacy? What intrigues you more, the crisp crunch, the spicy kick, or its nutrition? Considered the future of cuisine. Outside of Europe and parts of North America, endive remains a mystery to many, not because of its flavor, but because of its incredibly complex cultivation process. Unlike most leafy greens, endive is essentially reborn twice. First, grown as chicory roots in open fields, then forced to sprout pale ivory buds in complete darkness under tightly controlled conditions. This intricate process is exactly why endive can cost 5 to 10 times more than typical salad greens. Part of endive's allure also lies in its name. Why don't people simply call it a chicory bud? The answer traces back to a fortunate accident in Belgium in the 1800s, when a farmer named Jan Lammers was storing chicory roots in his cellar for the winter. The term endive refers to something that appears at the very end, a hidden beauty that only reveals itself in the final stage of growth. Have you ever heard of or tasted this mysterious vegetable? If so, share your experience in the comments below. In Belgium, the birthplace of endive, around 110,000 tons are harvested each year, accounting for 30% of global production and generating hundreds of millions of euros. France and the Netherlands are also major producers, utilizing hydroponic systems and advanced environmental control technologies to grow it at scale. But why is growing in darkness so essential? Because without light, the plant doesn't produce chlorophyll, allowing the endive to retain its creamy white color, mild bitterness, and crisp, juicy texture, all defining features that give it its premium status. If exposed to light, the buds would simply grow into regular chicory plants. At the factory, entire truck beds are lifted using hydraulic systems, allowing tons of chicory roots to slide steadily into a large receiving chute. This chute feeds directly into the main intake hopper of the preliminary cleaning line. Just beneath the hopper, the primary conveyor system begins operating, guiding the flow of chicory roots onto a roller belt equipped with rotating rubber brushes and mechanical rakes. These components work together to remove any remaining leaf stems, clumps of dry soil, lateral roots, and coarse debris. Next, the roots pass over rollers with narrow gaps or a rotating mesh surface, allowing fine soil, small stones, and organic fragments to fall through. This phase isn't just about cleaning, it's a crucial preparation step that readies the chicory roots for their second life cycle. After the initial cleaning phase removes most of the soil and debris, the chicory roots move on to a deep washing conveyor. Here they pass through high-pressure water jets positioned along the belt, or are placed into a rotating drum washer for thorough rinsing. Interestingly, from an agricultural processing standpoint, some factories skip this washing step entirely, especially when the roots are already sufficiently clean and will be stored only briefly. After washing, the chicory roots are sent to the sorting and quality control area. Here, workers manually remove any roots that are broken, moldy, rotten, or incorrectly sized. Only roots that meet strict criteria, straight, long, undamaged, and of sufficient size, are kept for the next phase, bud forcing. Meanwhile, the growing racks equipped with trays, each divided into square cells sized to fit individual chicory roots, are first filled with cool water. This step helps establish a stable, humid, and temperature-controlled environment ideal for bud forcing. Once the trays are in place and filled, workers carefully insert each chicory root into a cell with speed and precision, ensuring the base of the root makes proper contact with the water surface. The roots are spaced evenly to avoid overcrowding, creating optimal conditions for uniform sprouting and producing high-quality endive buds. At last, after all the meticulous preparation, the strange journey of the chicory root reaches its most awaited chapter, the darkroom forcing stage, where the real magic begins. The first key to success is creating an environment of total darkness. Only in the absence of light can the plant's natural biology be deliberately redirected and controlled, steering its growth in a completely new direction. To achieve this, the environment is carefully controlled. Temperature is kept steady between 12 to 16 degrees. Air humidity is maintained at 90 to 95%, and oxygen levels are adjusted to slow down respiration and limit natural oxidation. As a result, the buds grow slowly but consistently, with reduced risk of rotting and a uniform, elegant shape, each one a flawless product of darkness and precision. Beneath each tray is a recirculating hydroponic system that delivers water and nutrients from the bottom up. This ensures the root bases remain consistently moist without water pooling on the buds, reducing the risk of fungal infections while encouraging the sprouts to grow upright, thick, and uniformly shaped. Inside the dark room, the space is organized into multi-tiered shelving racks, each level holding hundreds of trays. This vertical layout allows thousands of chicory roots to be cultivated simultaneously in a closed-loop system optimized for mass production. The forcing process typically lasts between 20 and 25 days, during which the growth of the buds is continuously monitored by a network of sensors connected to a central control system. This ensures precise regulation of environmental conditions, allowing the sprouts to develop at a steady, optimal pace. If you want to become a classic-style farmer, try growing endive using the traditional soil forcing method. Instead of investing in complex hydroponic systems, this approach allows chicory roots to be planted directly into soil beds inside a dark room. The entire bed is covered with black plastic sheets to retain moisture, block out light, and maintain stable temperatures, creating ideal conditions for the buds to grow. Chicory grown this way often produces endives with a richer flavor, denser texture, and thicker leaves compared to hydroponic cultivation. Although it requires more space and yields less, this traditional model is still practiced on many farms across Europe, especially in Belgium, the birthplace of endive. At the end of all the patience and meticulous labor comes the most rewarding moment: harvest time. When the endive buds reach 12 to 15 centimeters in length with uniformly pointed tips, tightly wrapped leaves, and no gaps for light to enter, they are considered perfectly mature, forming what many call pearls of the dark, known for their crisp texture, delicate sweetness, and the near-complete absence of chicory's natural bitterness. In modern facilities, the harvest is assisted by rotary disc cutters, machines hailed as essential tools in the final stage of production. Their continuous and precise operation can boost productivity by 3 to 5 times compared to manual cutting, while significantly reducing damage caused by improper handling. The machine features a large rotating disc divided into multiple compartments, each designed to securely hold the chicory root horizontally. The entire operation runs continuously and smoothly, with each rotation typically processing 4 to 6 roots, depending on the machine's configuration. Once separated, the endive buds drop gently into a collection chute and are transferred to a sorting conveyor, where workers inspect and remove any buds with loose leaves, deformities, or imperfections, ensuring that only flawless specimens continue on to packaging. After harvesting, the old and excess endive leaves are collected separately. Rich in fiber and nutrients, they're often composted into organic fertilizer or repurposed as livestock feed for animals like cows, goats, and rabbits. The spent chicory roots, having completed their role in sprouting, are also separated and sent for biological processing or converted into biofuel. This allows for the recovery and reuse of up to 95 to 100% of the plant's biomass. It's a prime example of the closed-loop cycle in modern agriculture, where every part of the plant is utilized, not only to produce premium endive, but also to support environmental protection and sustainable development. To save time and ensure absolute hygiene, modern farms use automated robots to wash the growing trays after each endive cycle. These systems use high-pressure water jets and rotating brushes to thoroughly clean every corner, removing soil, root debris, and any remaining microorganisms. After sorting, the premium-grade endive buds are transferred to the packaging line in a chilled environment. Depending on the target market, the buds may be packed in breathable mesh bags, plastic trays with shrink wrap, or vacuum-sealed packaging, extending shelf life up to 2 to 3 weeks while preserving freshness and structure. Finally, the packaged units are labeled, tagged with traceability codes, and stored in cold chambers awaiting shipment. And just like that, from a humble root grown under open skies, through a dual life journey between light and shadow, the endive bud is born, a symbol of refinement, precision, and sustainability in modern European agriculture. Harvesting millions of pounds of kale across America is no small feat. The process has evolved over the years, ranging from manual labor to fully automated industrial machinery. Let's explore the three main methods used to harvest kale. On industrial scale farms, fully automated harvesting machines are the backbone of the operation. These sophisticated machines, often referred to as engineering marvels, have revolutionized the way kale is harvested. They can process vast fields of kale in a single day, making them indispensable for large-scale production. Equipped with advanced features such as rotating blades and conveyor systems, these machines efficiently cut the plants at the base, separate the leaves from the stems, and transfer the harvested leaves into large bins ready for transport. This streamlined process significantly reduces the time and labor required, enabling farms to meet the high demand for kale products like kale chips, frozen kale, and fresh-packed kale. The key advantage of these automated harvesters is their incredible efficiency. With the ability to cover dozens of acres daily, they dramatically increase productivity compared to manual or semi-automated methods. Advanced technologies such as GPS and precision sensors enhance their performance, allowing them to navigate fields accurately and harvest kale with minimal disruption to the surrounding crops. This technological edge ensures that farms can maximize their output, making it feasible to supply kale to a wide market at affordable prices. However, this method is not without its drawbacks. Unlike manual or semi-automated harvesting, which allows for a more selective approach, fully automated machines lack the ability to differentiate between high-quality and suboptimal leaves. As a result, there may be an increase in waste or the inclusion of leaves that do not meet premium standards. While this trade-off can impact quality control, the sheer scale of production often offsets these limitations, ensuring that there is an ample supply of kale for processing into various products. By enabling the production of kale on such a massive scale, these machines play a crucial role in ensuring that kale products remain accessible to consumers across the country. On larger farms, semi-automated methods are used to balance efficiency and quality. Machines designed to cut the stems of kale plants roll through the fields, slicing the stalks cleanly. Afterward, workers follow behind, gathering the severed plants and feeding them into machines that strip the leaves from the stems. Semi-automated harvesting bridges the gap between manual precision and industrial-scale efficiency. Workers still play a crucial role in this method, ensuring that plants are properly fed into the machines and that no damaged or substandard leaves make it into the bins. This method speeds up the harvesting process while still requiring human oversight to ensure quality control. Farmers can process larger quantities of kale without compromising too much on leaf condition. In smaller farms or fields that prioritize quality, kale is often harvested by hand. Workers move row by row, carefully cutting the leaves near the stem base with sharp knives. This method allows for selective harvesting, where only the mature and undamaged leaves are picked. Farmers gently place the kale into crates or baskets, ensuring that the leaves remain intact and unbruised. Hand harvesting is an ancient practice that ensures the utmost care and precision. Farmers often work in teams, starting early in the morning to avoid the heat of the day, which could wilt the leaves. The tactile nature of hand harvesting also allows workers to assess the texture and maturity of each leaf, ensuring only the best kale is selected. While this method is labor-intensive and time-consuming, it's ideal for high-quality produce sold at farmers markets or specialized grocery stores. Additionally, hand harvesting reduces waste since workers can assess each leaf's condition before cutting. Once harvested, kale's journey doesn't end. It moves to processing facilities where it's transformed into various products to meet the demands of kale lovers across the country. Here's how the magic happens. The first step in any kale processing facility is cleaning. Massive washing systems rinse away dirt, pesticides, and debris from the leaves. Workers or automated systems then sort the kale, removing any damaged or discolored leaves. This step ensures that only the freshest and most appealing kale makes it to the next stage. Cleaning systems often use multi-stage washing techniques, including water jets and gentle agitation, to ensure thorough cleanliness without damaging the delicate leaves. In some facilities, optical scanners are employed to detect imperfections, ensuring a consistent quality standard. The discarded leaves, often unsuitable for human consumption, are repurposed as animal feed or compost, contributing to sustainable practices. For consumers who love kale in its simplest form, fresh packed kale is the go-to product. After cleaning and sorting, the leaves are dried using gentle air blowers. They're then weighed and packed into plastic bags or containers, often with a small vent to keep the kale fresh. These packages are sealed, labeled, and shipped to grocery stores, ready for salads, smoothies, or sautéing. Kale chips have become a favorite snack for health-conscious individuals. To make them, the leaves are destemmed and coated with seasoning mixtures, often including olive oil, nutritional yeast, or spices. These seasoned leaves are then baked or dehydrated in industrial ovens at low temperatures to maintain their nutritional value while achieving a crispy texture. Once cooled, the chips are packed into airtight bags to preserve freshness and crunch. The production of kale chips involves precise temperature control to achieve the perfect balance between crispiness and flavor retention. Chopped kale has become a go-to choice for those seeking convenience and healthy meal options. The process begins with the removal of tough stems, leaving only the tender leaves. These leaves are then shredded into bite-sized pieces, using advanced machines designed to minimize bruising. This careful handling ensures that the kale retains its vibrant green color and fresh, crisp texture. Once chopped, the kale is washed thoroughly to remove any remaining impurities, followed by a gentle drying process to maintain its quality. The final product is packaged in resealable bags, making it incredibly versatile and easy to use in quick salads, stir-fries, or soups. Some factories take convenience a step further by blending chopped kale with other greens like spinach or arugula, creating ready-made salad mixes that cater to diverse tastes and dietary needs. Quality checks are an integral part of the process, ensuring consistent weight and portion sizes in every bag. In addition, some facilities use innovative techniques such as pre-washing the kale with edible coatings. These coatings help extend freshness while preserving the natural taste and appearance of the greens. With its meticulous processing and thoughtful packaging, chopped kale offers a high-quality, hassle-free ingredient that fits perfectly into modern lifestyles. Kale's popularity isn't just a passing trend. It plays a significant role in promoting healthier eating habits and supporting sustainable agriculture. Its ability to grow in various climates and resist pests makes it a resilient crop that requires fewer chemical interventions compared to other vegetables. Additionally, the diverse range of products made from kale caters to a wide audience, from snack lovers to home cooks. The journey of kale, from its humble beginnings in the field to becoming a snackable chip or a fresh salad ingredient, is a testament to modern farming and processing innovations. Whether harvested by hand with semi-automated machines or by industrial harvesters, kale's path to our tables is a story of hard work, technology, and a love for healthy living. So the next time you toss kale into your smoothie or crunch on a kale chip, take a moment to appreciate the effort that went into bringing this superfood to your plate.